It is the middle of July, and somewhere on your allotment there is a patch of ground you've been meaning to deal with since April. It might be a corner choked with bindweed. It might be a strip of compacted clay that defeated your fork on the first attempt. It might simply be an empty bed that never quite got sorted before the season ran away from you. Here is the thing, you do not need to dig it. Not now, not in a hurry, not with your back suffering for it on a warm Saturday afternoon. Because July is, quietly and without fanfare, one of the best months in the entire calendar to start a no-dig bed. Most people assume no-dig is something you set up in autumn or early spring. Most people are leaving several months of free soil improvement on the table. This video explains exactly what no-dig is doing underneath that cardboard, why July specifically works in your favor, and what you need to do this weekend to have a genuinely productive bed ready well before the first frost. No-dig is not laziness dressed up in horticultural language. It is a method built on a specific biological argument. When you dig soil, you break apart the fungal networks, worm tunnels, and microbial communities that have been quietly building structure from below. You bring weed seeds to the surface where they germinate. You expose carbon stored in the soil to the air, and it oxidizes and escapes. Digging solves an immediate problem, a compacted or weedy patch, by creating 3 slower ones. No-dig says, do not break the soil, cover it instead. You apply a thick layer of organic matter directly on top of whatever is there. Cardboard or newspaper goes down first as a light excluding barrier. Compost goes on top of that. The existing vegetation dies back. The worms pull the organic matter downward. The soil structure underneath stays intact, and the new growing medium on top improves month by month. The result is a bed that gets better the longer you leave it, rather than worse. Most growers associate no-dig bed preparation with October or March. Both are reasonable choices. Neither takes advantage of what July specifically offers. In July, your soil is warm, worm activity is high, soil bacteria are working at peak efficiency. The biological machinery that actually does the work of breaking down your cardboard and compost is running faster than it will at any other point in the year. A bed laid down in October in a cold, wet UK autumn will decompose slowly over winter. A bed laid down now will have broken down significantly within 8 to 10 weeks. That matters, because by mid-September, a July no-dig bed will have had 10 weeks of warm season decomposition working in its favor. The cardboard will have softened and begun to integrate. The compost layer will have started to merge with what is below. You will have a bed that is genuinely ready to plant into, with garlic, overwintering onions, broad beans, or a green manure, before the season closes. July also gives you something else. The weeds and grass beneath your cardboard are actively growing. That sounds like a problem. It is actually useful. Growing plants respire and pull moisture upward. That moisture softens the cardboard from below, speeding up the breakdown. The dying vegetation itself becomes part of the decomposing layer that feeds your future bed. Start by clearing anything genuinely large. Woody stems, thick bramble roots, or established perennial weeds with deep tap roots should come out by hand before you begin. You are not digging the soil. You are removing obstacles to the cardboard, making full contact with the ground. Lay your cardboard directly on the cleared surface, printed side down if possible. Overlap every edge by at least 15 centimeters. Gaps are where bindweed will find the light and come straight through, so treat every join as a weakness to be sealed. Wet the cardboard thoroughly before adding anything on top. A dry sheet will resist moisture from above. A soaked sheet will begin to soften and press down into contact with the soil beneath it. Now add your compost layer. For a new bed, aim for 15 to 20 centimeters of good compost. This is not a thin mulch. It is your growing medium. Use homemade compost if you have it. Well-rotted manure works. Spent mushroom compost is effective and easy to source. The volume matters more than the source. Firm it down gently and water it in, then leave it alone. That is genuinely it. The work is done in an afternoon. The biology does the rest. Check the bed in late August. Press your hand into the compost layer. It should feel dark and crumbly rather than matted and dry. The cardboard underneath should be soft when you push a finger through the surface layer to find it. If you are planting garlic or overwintering onions in October, you are making planting holes directly into the compost, not digging up the bed. Push a dibber or your finger down, drop the clove or set in, firm it back over. The root will find its way down through the decomposing cardboard without any help from you. If you want to sow a green manure first, scatter it across the surface in late August, rake it lightly and water it in. It will knit the compost surface together. add nitrogen, and protect the bed through autumn. By next spring, the cardboard will be gone. The worm population in that bed will have increased. The soil below will be noticeably looser and darker than the surrounding ground. You will have improved a patch of your allotment through summer without breaking a sweat over a fork. A no-dig bed started in July uses warm soil biology to break down cardboard and compost faster than any other time of year. 10 weeks of summer decomposition gives you a bed that is genuinely planting ready before the first autumn frosts arrive. Lay it this weekend, and that neglected corner pays you back before the season ends. So over to you. What is actually underneath the patch you have been avoiding? Bindweed, compacted clay, couch grass, or something worse? Tell us in the comments, because the answer might help someone else on the channel decide whether this method is right for their plot too. And if this helped you understand your plot a little better, subscribe to Grow a Lot Studio. There is always more going on down on the allotment than meets the eye.